Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Nitin Joshi, Professor in Neurology with teaching experience of 25 years, working as consultant neurosurgeon in Panvel for more than 30 years. Today, we'll discuss the topic ileal ureter. In neurology, ileum is used for ileal conduit, for ureteral replacement, for augmentation cystoplasty, for creation of new bladder, that is ileal bladder, or creation of various pouches from ileum. In female, creation of vagina. While, like Metrophenov principle, Monti's principle of catheterizable channel by using ileum, where appendix is diseased, short or removed. Indications of ileal ureter are 1. Extensive loss of ureter by extensive injury or extensive surgical loss or extensive disease in the ureter like retroperitoneal fibrosis. Second, extensive ureteric stricture in tuberculosis, schistosomiasis or radiation-induced injury. Third, in ureteral malignancy in solitary functioning kidney, for complicated undivergence and in past recurrent stone parcels. Prerequisite for ileal ureter are patient should have normal kidney function. If there is compromised renal function, then cutoff value for raised serum creatinine is 2. This is because due to interposition of ileum, which has absorptive mucosa, there will be reabsorption of urinary solutes like urea, creatinine, acid metabolites like sulfates, phosphate and electrolytes like potassium. Thus, there will be increased workload on kidney. This is because kidney has to re-excrete all these solutes and electrolyte. Second, patient should have usable bladder, that is bladder with normal capacity, compliance, elasticity and free from malignancy, and there should be no bladder outlet obstruction. Any bladder outlet obstruction and interposition of ileum, that is intestine in urinary tract, will result into further obstruction due to formation of mucus plug. Also, due to mucus plug, there is increased incidence of formation of bladder stone. Low compliance from any cause, that is neurogenic or non-neurogenic, will result into uninhibited bladder contractions causing incontinence of urine or deterioration of upper tract. There should be no ureteral obstruction by retroperitoneal malignancy or retroperitoneal lymph nodes. Ileum should be free from stricture or any other inflammatory bowel disease like Crohn's disease. 1 day prior to surgery, bowel preparation with Piglet is performed and IV fluids are started so as to prevent dehydration, fluid electrolyte and acid-base imbalance. Preoperatively, physiotherapy is started. There should be proper control of urinary tract infection if present and the patient's nutritional status is brought to optimum. Whenever ileum is used for ileal ureter or ileal conduit, ideally terminal 15 to 20 cm of ileum should be preserved. This is because terminal 15 to 20 cm of ileum is the site of absorption of bile salts and vitamin B12. Loss of terminal 15 to 20 cm of ileum so will result into loss of enterohepatic circulation of bile salts causing lithogenic bile with increased incidence of gallstone formation, and loss of vitamin B12 will result into manifestations of vitamin B12 deficiency, that is megaloblastic anemia, and subacute combined degeneration of descending tracts causing neurological symptoms. Note, ileal ureter should be a last resort. Ureter sparing ureteric replacement ideally should be urothelium based, that is ureterosteomy, ureteroneocystostomy, with or without psoas, with or without Bohari flap, with or without renal dissensus with inferior nephropexy. This is because urothelium is not absorptive and potentially resistant to inflammation and carcinogenic effect induced by urine. On the other hand, intestinal mucosa is absorptive in nature and susceptible to inflammatory and carcinogenic effects induced by urine. Hence, various complications after ileal ureter. In order to reduce the incidence of metabolic complications following ileal ureter, the length of ileum should be as short as possible. Due to short length of ileum, absorptive surface will decrease, hence the incidence and severity of various metabolic complications will decrease. To decrease the requirement of length of ileum, one may have to perform Soasich or Bohari flitch with Bohari flag, Soasich with or without Bohari flag, with or without renal descensus with inferior nephropexy. Patient who requires ileal ureteral replacement usually has undergone multiple previous surgeries. Due to past surgeries, there is usually significant adhesions. Due to extensive adhesions, finding virgin proper plane may be difficult. Also, secondary to previous surgeries, ureteral vascularity may be compromised. Thus, performing ileal ureter surgery is technically demanding. If ileal ureter replacement surgery is to be performed in presence of compromised renal function, CKD, with serum creatinine cutoff value of 2, then due to CKD, there will be decreased immunity, particularly decreased phagocytic function of neutrophils, hence increased susceptibility to infection. Usually, patient requiring ileal ureter will have urinary diversion by percutaneous nephrostomy or degestant. Thus, presence of foreign body in patient. This foreign body acts as a focus of infection, and with decreased immunity, there will be increased susceptibility to infection as well as sepsis. On the other hand, if ileal ureter is required following radiation resulting into ureteric stricture, then there will be radiation-induced adverse effects on various organs of the body, causing radiation cystitis, radiation-induced urethritis, urethral stenosis, urethral stricture, radiation-induced ileitis, radiation-induced retroperitoneal fibrosis. Thus, complicated surgery becomes still more complicated. While performing surgery of ileal ureter, principle is to achieve drainage of entire kidney as wide as possible and to establish the continuity of urinary tract. Ileal ureter can replace not only from renal pelvis but even from lower polar dilated dependent calyx after lower polar guillotine type of partial nephrectomy and after ruling out intrarenal obstruction like infundibular stenosis. Though isolated, harvested, ileal segment should be as short as possible, but it should lie comfortably retroperitoneally in paracolic gutter in isoperistaltic fashion without tension and should be based on two arterial arcades. Normally, mobile segment of ileum of 25 to 35 cm in length is selected. Though the length of isolated segment should be as short as possible to reduce the surface area of absorptive mucosa, the length of ileum should be greater than the measured distance between healthy upper end of urinary tract and posterior aspect of bladder. This is because it is impossible to straighten the ileum completely in its entire course due to the short length of mesentery. It is always easier to trim a generous segment of ileum than to stretch an inadequate intestinal segment, which will result into tension on suture line. The distal end to side anastomosis, that is end of ileum to side of posterior wall of bladder, that is ileovasicostomy, is free, refluxing, but with presence of cuff, that is by creating the cuff by the rosebud type. Addition of anti-reflux flap wall mechanism has not shown to be beneficial. Low pressure, high compliance as well as intrinsic peristalsis of bowel segment appears to prevent renal deterioration by reflux. Rather, taking 5 cm of additional length of ileum, cuff is made by a rosebud technique which acts like flutter valve. This flutter valve created by cuff supposed to eliminate or reduce reflux into distal ileal segment and hence prevent hyperabsorption of electrolytes and solutes from urine. In order to achieve isoperistaltic nature of harvested ileal segment, mesentery at proximal as well as distal end of ileum is divided more deeply and extensively than while performing ileal conduit. Due to this deep mesenteric cut at proximal end of ileum, it will get more mobility so that proximal end can reach proximal end of native ureter or pelvis without any tension. Similarly, deep mesenteric cut at distal end of ileum it will result into more mobility of the distal ileum so that it can reach the posterior aspect of bladder easily without tension. The proximal end of ileum to be harvested and distal end of ileum to be harvested are marked with two separate sutures for easy identification so as to maintain isoperistaltic nature of the ileum to be placed in retroperitoneum. To place the harvested ileum in isoperistaltic state in retroperitoneum, ascending colon or descending colon will be mobilized along white line of tool. Also, this mobilization of colon provides wide access to renal pelvis and anastomosis of renal pelvis with proximal end of ileum. To perform end-to-side ileovasicostomy into anastomosis, through anterior wall of bladder, cystostomy is performed and anastomosis is performed from within in two layers and from outside only single layer, that is serosa to serosa anastomosis. To prevent obstruction by formation of mucus plug, additional wide-bore suprapubic catheter is inserted, which can be three-way so as to give continuous irrigation post-operatively. Now, steps of the ileal ureter. The commonest incision taken for ileal ureter is thoracoabdominal. This gives excellent exposure at upper end, that is kidney, pelvis or ureter, as well as to the lower end, that is bladder. Thoracoabdominal incision is 11th or 12th rib bed incision. In supine position, crepe bandages are applied to prevent deep vein thrombosis. In supine position itself, 11th or 12th rib incision is marked. The rib can be identified. This is because one knows that 10th rib is fused to costal cartilage. For thoracoabdominal incision, position given is torque flank position or flank twist position or modified supine position. For this, only 30-degree rotation of pelvis with 45-degree rotation of ipsilateral shoulder by putting roller longitudinally. Upper arm is extended between hemithorax and flank. Lower leg is flexed at hip and knee. Upper leg is kept extended. Pillow is kept between two legs. After putting Gamgee, strapping is given at level of greater trochanter and shoulder. Other bony prominences and axilla are protected. Here there is no need of elevation of kidney bridge and no need of insertion of ureteric catheter. 11th or 12th rib bed incision is extended straight up to umbilicus and then from umbilicus down up to symphysis pubis in straight line. Rib is resected subperiosteally. Retroperitoneum is entered anteriorly so as to protect pleura, which is present on posterior aspect. Urotas fascia is separated from peritoneum and pleura. By blunt dissection, urotas fascia and contents are separated from muscles of posterior abdominal wall to expose psoas major muscle. On psoas major muscle, ureter is identified, isolated, hook, dissected upwards and downwards. The ureter is dissected upwards to identify renal pelvis and hence renal hilum. Upward dissection depends whether anastomosis is to be performed with healthy upper ureter, renal pelvis or lower polar calyx with ideal ureter. Urotas fascia is opened longitudinally to mobilize kidney completely. Peritoneum is open to mobilize ascending or descending colon along white line of tool. This allows placement of ileal ureter retroperitoneally and adequate space will be available for anastomosis of proximal end of ileum with renal pelvis or lower polar dilated dependent calyx. In lower aspect of incision, flat hand is placed over bladder to separate fibrofatty lymphatic tissue from back of symphysis pubis and pelvic walls from either side so as to develop retropubic cave of Retzius and two lateral paravesical spaces. More dissection and development of paravesical space is required opposite to side of pathology. If lower polar partial nephrectomy is required, it is to be delayed as much as possible to prevent intro of bleeding. Lower end is prepared by psoas bladder hitch. To make psoas hitch, initially incision is marked on the full bladder with methylene blue as equatorial incision such that incision will be perpendicular to lie of ureter. The incision is taken by cautery between two full thickness stay sutures taken with 30 chromic cadavit. Upper end of incision is just above the midpoint of anterior wall of bladder and then going obliquely across maximum circumference of bladder and then downwards so that it will be perpendicular to lie of ureter. Through anterior cystostomy, two fingers are inserted into horn or dome or fundus of bladder to reflect it upwards and lateral to ipsilateral common iliac vessels towards ipsilateral psoas minor tendon. Then bilateral symmetrical ceromuscular stitches are taken from fundus to psoas minor tendon by two girovicral sutures after taking into account lie of ureter. After taking psoas each, defect is measured between lower end of healthy ureter or renal pelvis or lower polar calyx to posterior wall of bladder, which is this posterior wall of bladder, which is 1 to 2 centimeter supromedial to previous hiatus. This much defect is to be breached. In addition, about 5 centimeter for creation of nipple plus 2 to 3 centimeter of ileum for any further adjustment. Normally, 25 to 30 centimeter of ileal segment based on two major branches of ileocoeliac artery is harvested. Proximal and distal ends of ileum are marked with separate suture material for easy identification in making isoperistaltic ileal ureter. Mesenteric trap is closed to prevent internal herniation. Two-layered ileo-ileal anastomosis is carried out, which is covered with omentum. Harvested ileal segment is irrigated with betadine solution till clear efflux. The harvested ileal segment is rotated anti-clockwise on left side while rotated clockwise on right side so that proximal end of ileum is towards kidney while distal end of ileum is towards bladder, thus maintaining isoperistaltic nature. While performing this, it is confirmed that there is no twist in mesentery and ileal ureter is lying comfortably in paracolic gutter. Initially, distal end of ileum is brought into lumen of urinary bladder through posterior bladder wall. The site of new hiatus is 1 to 1.5 cm supromedial to previous hiatus. Full thickness circumference of posterior bladder wall, which is extraperitoneal, is excised with cautery. The size of defect created in posterior bladder wall should be wide enough to bring the ileal loop easily. With backpop forceps, ileal loop is brought into lumen of bladder such that about 4 to 5 cm of ileum is protruding into bladder lumen. One has to once again confirm that ileal loop is brought as straight as possible from above to bladder without tension or twist and no stretching or twist of mesentery. This additional 4 to 5 cm of ileum is for creation of nipple of rosebud type by 3-point technique in 2 layers. First layer is by 3 girovicryl going from submucosa of bladder to seromuscular layer of ileum at a point which is 2 cm proximal to cut end of ileum and then going through full thickness of cut end of ileum and then going back to submucosa of bladder. This is one stitch. Like this stitch is held with artery forceps. Such 4 to 6 stitches are first taken and then tied one after another so as to create a rosebud. Then second layer anastomosis is by mucosa to mucosa interrupted stitches. For outside the bladder on the posterior aspect, the serosa to serosa interrupted stitches are taken with 3 girovicryl to reinforce the anastomosis. After inserting 22 or 24 French suprapubic catheter, bladder is closed in 2 layers and bladder wash is given to confirm watertight closure. Ureter, if totally diseased, it is excised and sent for histopathology. If part is healthy, it is anastomosed with ileal ureter. Upper end of ileal ureter is anastomosed either to healthy upper ureter or renal pelvis or lower polar dilated dependent calyx. In case anastomosis is to be done with lower polar calyx, then lower polar guillotine type of partial nephrectomy is required. In case of proximal anastomosis, the proximal anastomosis therefore can be with the healthy upper ureter, pelvis or lower polar dilated dependent calyx. In case the proximal anastomosis is to with the ureter or pelvis, then it can be end to end or end to side or side to side. When end to side, then the proximal end of ileum is closed in two layers and fixed to retroperitoneum. Ureter is spatulated, and then spatulated end of the ureter is anastomosed to the side of ileum after taking long longitudinal incision on ileum. Here closed ileum should be close to native ureter. The closed ileum is supported by proximal and distal stay sutures with 3-0 chromic catgut. Between these two stay sutures, generous longitudinal incision is taken on ileum. Ureter is spatulated along its antimesenteric border. Spatulated end of ureter will now act as a proximal end, while the non-spatulated end of the ureter will act as the distal end. So, while taking the suture at the proximal end, it will be going from outside in, taken from the spatulated side, to inside out of the proximal end of the ileostomy, held as a stay suture, while outside in of non-spatulated end of ureter to inside out of the lower end of the ileostomy incision, again held as a stay suture. Then side walls are closed with running interlocking suture, and before completion of second layer, the second wall, the digestate is inserted. The anastomosis can be end-to-end anastomosis of ureter or pelvis with proximal end of the ileum. Since there is discrepancy between the lumen of ileum and end of ureter or renal pelvis, proximal end of antimesenteric border of ileum is closed with 3-0 vicryl in two layers till the opening of ileum is slightly greater than the end of renal pelvis or ureter. This excess opening in the ileum will act like a spatulation. Now the end of ureter or pelvis is spatulated along its antimesenteric border. Two ends of the ureter or pelvis are anastomosed to the proximal end of ileum after insertion of digestate so as to achieve end-to-end, mucosa to mucosa, watertight, tension-free, spatulated, stented anastomosis. The Ryle's tube is inserted as a percutaneous nephrostomy through flank, which is passed across the anastomosis. This will allow ileal ureter heal in straight line, allow proximal drainage, prevents blockage of ileal ureter by King's, mucus plug or post-operative inflammatory edema. It can be used to give wash to prevent or decrease mucus plug obstruction, and also for performing PCNogram to confirm healing and confirm patency. Proximal anastomosis is later covered with omentum to prevent cicatrization of ileal ureter to posterior abdominal wall. Ileal ureter is retroperitonealized by suturing ascending or descending colon to lateral body wall with parietal peritoneum. 3 tube drains are inserted. Out of that, 2 are near the anastomosis of the ileal ureter, proximal end and distal end. Third, intraperitoneal for ileal anastomosis, and wound is closed in layers. Complications of the ileal ureter are same as that of resulting from the use of intestine in urinary tract. Thank you very much.